TikTok. It's like 7 minutes long. I didn't even know that you could make a TikTok video that long, but I think it's really worth the watch. So stick with me. We will reconvene and I will tell you all my thoughts. But I think that you will find this video refreshing and interesting. So let's get into it.
So it's been a year since I started my OF and my spicy pages. And
Spicy page.
I
What do you
just
mean?
feel super anxious today. And I wanted to just come on here and share some thoughts
Sure then.
on my experience so far. I'm kind of scared to share my actual thoughts, but I just feel the need to say them in case anybody who's following me here has any sort of desire to start this kind of thing. I want to start off by saying that I definitely have a really complicated relationship with this whole thing, and there are things that I appreciate about it and have appreciated about it from the beginning. But if I'm being so honest, there really are so many downsides. I'm trying so hard not to get like super upset while sharing this, but if I'm being honest, my mental health since I've started this
There you go.
has just slowly like been
There you go.
on such a decline. And I would say that it started maybe like honestly probably 7 months ago, where about like maybe 6 months into doing this, about 6 months, I started to get super burnt out. And while I did have such a strong start and it was so much fun in the beginning, after getting burnt out, I started to just feel really differently about like the types of messages that I was getting.
You became an object. That's what happened. If you act like an object, people will treat you like an object. Simple as that, folks. You want people to respect you, respect yourself. That's where it starts.
And just feeling like sort of the effort that I was putting in to it still wasn't. I guess I'm trying to say there's no amount of money really that you can give me at this point, and I'm like willing to admit this now. There's no amount of money that you can give me right now to like make me feel like giving myself away in certain aspects, even if they're just a few photos or whatever online. It almost isn't worth it anymore. It's hard to describe this because I realize that when I have spoken about OF, that, you know, it's typically been in a light where it's like, you know, it's fun, it's art, you make money, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm being so honest, that really is like the only upside to doing it. Like just the ability to very quickly make extra cash. But I think again, like just over the course of a few months.
Yeah, quick money's never good, huh? Quick money's never good. The quicker it comes, the quicker it goes, man. She just gave the most important asset of her, which is her beauty, is purity, away, just to get a couple bucks, man. For real. If the downside in the main side is just doing drugs. You're doing drugs, you're gonna see it coming. You call the devil, he's gonna come in your door, knock the door, man.
Of like half a year or so, just going really hard at it. I think I didn't let a lot of like the messages get to me, but I was lying to myself, and I definitely think that it's like really worn on me over time. And it's not to say that I don't have like really good guys on there following me and like monetarily supporting me, even like checking in on me at times where I like, you know, earlier this year I definitely disappeared for a few months, even on here. But even with that, like just realizing that even those people are not people that I would call when I'm having a really hard day just makes it feel
interesting statement.
Just so fake. And I'm not sitting here saying that like I ever got on there to make friends. Let's be honest, it's really just to make money from a bunch of horny men. But I guess I'm just trying to say that just know that if you are a person who's ever been interested in doing this, or if you've like ever been curious about it, there really is just like such a like I feel a little bit dead inside. I feel completely desensitized, and I don't know Like, not to sound funny, but I really don't feel any type of like desire or like attraction to men in general anymore. And that's also because of my,
You got
my
traumatized.
personal collective experiences that I've had with like dating like the wrong types
Yeah.
of men and things like that.
You got
But
traumatized. That's why you. That's why it's important for you, for women, to just look for the right man early on, folks. This is what happened. They get traumatized. Now, the guy that want to settle with her, he had to deal with all that trauma. Because trauma is just basically triggers from bad experience.
I think
Oh man.
with this line of work, men, you will never catch a man being more honest and more authentic and more real, and not necessarily in a good way, than they are, and the way that they present themselves to girls who do stuff that I do.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what it's actually like for real life SWs. Like, I'm sure it's like 50,000 times worse for them. Like, at least to a certain extent, there's like a level of protection for me, just given that I'm like behind a screen, right? Like, I'm never actually gonna like see these guys in person or anything like that. But like, seriously, if I had any type of ability to share like the things that people have said, like the things that people have like the nerve to like DM me with, just like how disgusting they are. And also, I can't even count to you how many times the ones who follow me on Instagram, like when I get curious and nosy sometimes, like I'll go look at their profile and they have like a whole girlfriend or a whole wife, and sometimes, even disgustingly enough, they have kids. Sometimes it makes me feel so conflicted with doing this, and a part of me just feels so prideful. Like, I feel like yes, it's been a year, not like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but I do still feel like I'm still so deep in it. And I think I'm just being prideful, but I just feel like, and I just don't want to quit, because I'm just not a quitter. Like, I always see things like to the very end, and I really, I won't quit until I'm physically stopped.
So why making the video? So what's the video? What's the reason to making a video like this, folks? I just don't. I'm trying to just gather my thoughts here and just trying to figure out why the video. Why? What is it? You want us to feel bad of you making a bad decision, but support you at the same time? I want to see what Courtney had to say about this.
This being like my one creative outlet to like, or so I thought, to like express myself and like produce this work that
Express
like, I'm
myself.
really proud of. I do take a lot of time to go like rent these spaces and like get like certain types of outfits and like our lingerie, really, and like do these shoots and like post them, and like editing is like a whole process. And like, there are lots of parts that I
You could have
enjoy, but
done
I think what
YouTube
ruins
videos. I
it
don't get
is
it.
like when I really sit down to think about like ultimately like what the purpose of all this is. And it's really just to visually please a bunch of men who, again, a lot of them are disgusting. I've been sort of exploring the idea of maybe just having my content be focused on, things that I'm actually interested in, which
Man, it's a big problem, man. This is only one of them. It's probably millions. I hope she doesn't go to that status quo answer. I just want to hear what you have to
ultimately
say.
is not pleasing men in any way, shape, or form. Like,
Traumatized,
y'all
yeah.
can keep your money at this point.
Really?
I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyways, if you made it this long, thanks for listening.
Okay.
Okay, holy sugar and spice, that was long, but let's get into it. Finally, I made videos about OnlyFans back a couple of years ago when it got really popular during the pandemic and all of that, and there were so many girls signing up for it. I don't think that women thought necessarily about the true long-term consequences that this type of content can create. I feel for her in this video, so I say all of this with grace and empathy. I'm not here to hate on her or make her feel bad. We're not hating on this lady here, okay? That's not the point of this video. Please be kind down in the comments, okay? But as sad as it is to see someone have a bad experience and their mental health be negatively impacted by something, I think it's refreshing to see a woman finally speaking out about their bad experiences and the negatives in general, because it is abundantly clear The negatives outweigh the positives by a landslide for many people who participate. And I applaud people who can be honest and transparent about their experiences. And I believe it's important and crucial for young women and men to hear this message and understand, and really understand, the long-term consequences.
Listen, Courtney. I'll get you. I get what you're saying, Courtney. However, at the end of the video, Courtney, she didn't say that she want to quit. She said that she want to just keep doing the OF, and she want to see the end of it. Because she's not a quitter. She said it. But she didn't really took accountability of this or told some truth. We all knew that going to OF was a bad idea. It's not a surprise that she feels that way. But I don't think. Let's see what she has to say.
Is that our actions can have. Not to mention the negative effects of porn in general, which I'm saving for a completely different video. But I really wanted to further discuss some points that she made that stood out to me specifically that I think we can pull some nuggets of wisdom from. So the first thing being, you are what you attract. You know, I make content for men. I shouldn't be surprised when 95% of my audience is men and most of the messages I get are from men, right? She mentioned, I started to feel really differently about the types of messages I was getting. And again, I think that leads me back to the point of you are what you attract, and what you put out into the world is what you are going to attract back to you. And once she was burnt out, she felt differently about the messages she was receiving because she probably got to a point where she didn't feel good about what she was putting out there, clearly, right? And what you're attracting ultimately reflects back to you. If you're attracting the wrong type of people, if your inbox is flooded with men,
she probably received a lot of pickle pictures. She was probably receiving a lot of pickles in her DMs, man. And this is the dark side of man, right? We tend to allow lust to become the best out of us, right? And then all of a sudden, Satan becomes our daddy, kind of thing, right? Our father. Lust is a problem, guys. Don't get me wrong. Like the guys have to train to constrain their lust, man. We cannot just go to this kind of environment and just allow our lust to just get out of control. And that's the area of man that I really don't respect, man. You see what I'm saying? Like,
trying to purchase a service from you or purchase nudes from you, it's probably not going to be a pretty sight, especially when you start something and you start it because it is art to you. You start it because you've been sold a lie that it's empowering, that it's a form of art. And you know, it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. But then as you do it, you realize that that is not the case, and you're actually just providing a service. It's not empowering. You're providing a service to, you know, horny men, as she said in her own words. And I think once that clicked for her, as it does, I'm sure, for a lot of women who do this, it's a lot less empowering. And the messages you're receiving start to look a lot different. And next, I want to talk about the reality. So she said that the only upside, again, her exact words, the only upside was the ability to quickly make money. And it seems like she was very successful in her time that she spent doing this and probably made a lot of money. But I think a lot of girls went into this industry and started posting this type of content because they were told by girls who were making a lot of money, hey, you can make a ton of money doing this. But I don't think that's the reality for most of the girls that were doing it, unless you're in the top, whatever, you know, tiny percentage.
I think it's 5%.
Those are the girls who are making a ton of money. It's not just some random person posting nudes on the internet, you know, making $50,000 a month, right? It takes a long time to build up to that. And a lot of women, I'm sure, put a ton of time and effort and energy into their content and still never get to a point where it's worth it or makes sense to them, right? Like, I think that's why a lot of girls did it initially. From the outside looking in, it seems like easy money. You know, you snap a picture of your butt, you post it online, you make some dollars from the men who are following you, and that's all it is. But I think in order to get to a point where you're making the amount that these girls want to make, you actually do have to put a lot more time and effort and energy into what you're doing. You know, she even mentioned she would rent out spaces, she would buy all these outfits. But I think mentally, it is not as easy as people make it seem because, again, you're being sold a lie and you think you're doing one thing when in reality, you're doing another. She said In her own words, there's no amount of money you can give me at this point to make me feel like giving myself away in certain aspects, even if they're just a few photos online. It almost isn't worth it anymore. And she was kind of all over the place in her way of
It's
delivering it because she was
almost
upset.
not worth it anymore. You see that important word as almost not as important. Almost. Almost doesn't mean complete, right? Or entirely. Almost is close to. Does that mean that she still want to do it? It seems like, that's my opinion. It seems like.
Obviously. But really what she's saying is there's no amount of money that feels worth it for me. You know, she also said that she was lying to herself about how this was truly affecting her. And she also mentioned something that I thought was really interesting where, you know, men would reach out to her and ask her how she was, but they were never men or people that she would want to call in real life.
Yeah.
The entire point is to make money from a bunch of horny men, as she stated. And that's exactly what it is. It's not empowering and it's not glamorous. You're providing a service and you think the service you're providing is disgusting because you're disgusted by the messages that you're getting. But you can't be surprised when you get that type of response when that's the type of content that you're putting out, right? You know, I think there's a lot.
Behavior, right? Like when you're doing degenerate behavior, that's what happened. That's you get degenerate people. And I'm not okay with these guys just being degenerate either. I think these guys need to be shamed as well. However, so you went to the arena to go against the lion. You knew what the lion was gonna do to you. I mean, it's like I know I'm gonna go to the arena with the lion, and now I'm just complaining that the lion's gonna kill me. I mean, man.
That can be learned here from a male point of view as well. If you're a man watching this, if you're someone who consumes this type of content or watches porn, first of all, these girls think that you're disgusting. They would never want anything to do with you in real life. I'm sorry if that's harsh, but it's the truth. She said it herself. And it's really just horrible for everyone involved. It's not good for the person consuming the content, and it's not good for the creator making the content. She said, I feel a little bit dead inside. I feel completely desensitized. I don't feel any desire or attraction to men anymore. The purpose is to visually please a bunch of men who are disgusting. Let's just take a moment to really think about all of that.
You gave all your attention power away.
Let that sink in. Whether you're someone who makes that type of content or has thought about making that type of content or someone who consumes it. It's really not looking good from either direction. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to do what you're going to do. I'm not participating and I'm sitting over here happy and healthy. But I think it's important to talk about these things and to just shed light on the negatives. And there were so many women who commented on her video saying that they felt the same exact way and that's why they quit too. And it was just encouraging and refreshing.
Why they're not doing videos saying do not do this kind of content? Do not open an OnlyFans. Because misery love company, man. Misery love company. They're not going to tell other women not to do it. If I'm already here burning on hell, you're going to burn with me. It's a crap in the bucket mentality when it comes down to these modern witches, man. It's weird, man. It's just a weird way they use this stuff. I was feeling the same way, blah, blah, but you're not doing a video or just shedding a light to the other females to say, you know what? Do not do this. I went through the same thing. I went through this. I opened an account and I felt bad. I advise you not to do it. They're not doing that. You just find out a woman saying that she 75% doesn't like what she did, but it's that thing of accountability. You know what I'm saying?
To see women, you know, being kind to her and agreeing with her. Because a couple of years ago, if you said anything about OnlyFans, if you said anything about porn, people acted like you were a nun. People acted like you were a prude and you were just the worst person on earth. Like when I posted a video a couple years ago about OnlyFans, I had women DMing me on Instagram death threats, saying horrible things to me because I said that I didn't agree with OnlyFans and I think it's harmful to young women. Did I care? No, I said it anyway because it's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. But I think it's important to speak out about topics
Yeah,
and
that's
go
true.
against the
Good point.
mainstream sometimes. You know, privacy and your reputation is something
Important.
that you can never get back. And I think a lot of women posted this type of content thinking,
It's more important than your credit score. Your reputation and your character is more important than your credit score, folks. Credit score, you can fix it. Reputation take a lifetime to build.
oh, I'll just do it, see how it goes, and then if I want to quit, I can quit. But
That's it.
they don't realize that you can never get your privacy back. You can never get your reputation back. If it doesn't work out for you and you go to get a real job that's on your record, they can find your nudes online. You want your boss looking at your nudes? I sure wouldn't. I mean, what you put out into the world stays there forever. The internet is forever. And I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, there you go.
And the last point that I wanted to take from all this, that's a little bit different than most videos I think that cover these type of topics, is the topic of quitting versus evolving. Because she made a point at the end that could resonate with a lot of you and could apply to many different aspects of life, not just OnlyFans, not
I'm gonna leave the full video in the description down below, of course. For I just want to say something here, folks. I think when it comes down to these things, right, there's two sides to the coin, right? We understand that the militia witches, right? They have an agenda. And of course they're destroying generations. However, there's a responsibility that came with this freedom that clearly a lot of these females have struggled to really understand. I mean, I'm gonna keep it very serious, very 100 with you guys. This is not going to end until the next 20 or 25 years. And guys, if you're in my channel, you're consuming this kind of content with the OF, man, don't even comment, don't even support me, man, because we're not that type of people over here, man. No, no, we're not simpers. If you consuming any type of porn, any type of adult content, you're not doing yourself a favor. You're destroying your life, man. You're not doing it better than them. They're not. No, they're just in front of the man, and you happen to be the consumer, right? If you're struggling with porn, man, just go seek some help. We all did, in some way or another, right? We all did because it's right there in front of us. Well, I quit years ago. I mean, almost 10 years ago. Almost 10 years? Yeah, almost. I would say what? 7, 8? Yeah, it's not easy, but you can do it. You can do it. And not only that, there's a great benefits to it, right? You can focus, right? The mind start throwing all those, dopamines away, and let's try reconstruction your brain. So it's good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.